If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the Village, Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy a merch indeed, it shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
All right, here we go. This is Rivers of Nihil. Nihil. Go! Already.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I still believe it. Mustafa. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wow.
You know that little counter.
I really think I like this band.
This band.
I like it. I really like
I
them.
feel like that Japanese or the Chinese band. I think Neil is in here, so I'll know if it's a Chinese or a Japanese band.
Oh.
That band is still the song.
Move this over.
Is that mine?
Yeah, so we don't have some kind of accident here.
Oh, I thought it was yours.
No, I put mine over there.
That Japanese or Chinese band gave us the song of the year.
Oh. Gave you the song of the year for you.
All these songs, this is a third song. I'm assuming this came... Did this come from the Work album? Because we listened to them a couple days ago.
Oh, I know.
The one that got the 10.5.
Yeah.
And that also came from that Work record. The one that got blocked and everything, but it was worth it to watch the video.
Yeah.
That was all on the Work record. It was on the Work record.
It was Maybe One Day or The Void from Which No Sound Escapes.
The Void from Which No Sound Escapes is the one where he was like, "Stop cheering! What are you doing?" And then Maybe One Day.
Crazy.
Like, they made the entire... It's called The Work. And, you know, obviously he's in a band or whatever. Mm-hmm. But this is one of the... I mean, I'm going to get into it. I feel like this is probably going to be... When did that record come out? Was it 21 or 22? If it's 21, it's still in the runnings.
21.
Okay. So, it's still in the runnings for me for Album of the Year.
I really love their work.
If I hear another song at this level... They did how many songs on this shit? 11 songs. If I hear another song at this level, they're going to win Album of the Year. Which would make them Artist of the Year. I don't think you can have Album of the Year without having... It's just... I'm going to get into the lyrics and things of that nature. But
I like the way that this band makes me feel. It makes me feel like we're going somewhere, but we don't have to rush, and that
Right.
it's meaningful, and every step and every breath is meaningful. Even the part like where, you know, what the song meant or what I got from it may not be the same thing, but when he's got to the part like do the work, I know it hurts, do the work, but you have to. That to me was like, you know, because he was talking about, there was a couple things that stuck out to me. So one was, you know, at the beginning where he's saying like everything you need for the children you feed, but there are too many mouths and not enough hands to do the work. The winter's longer than the one before. If God doesn't take us, why would he make us this way? Scream his name while we scrape away. Like it had this sort of like desperate where we're suffering and there seems to be no real end to it, and there's not enough people to help fix this. And then he goes on, see it bend, can you feel it break? Watch it crack under all that weight, she said. And it reminded me of that there's a verse in the Bible that it's talking about Jesus, and it says that basically like a bruised reed or a bent reed, he's not going to break.
Yeah.
Like, so it's so close to breaking, but he's so gentle with someone who's at that place that he won't even break them. Like Jesus is going to help them, you know? And so that kind of came to me at that part. And then the do the work part was that, you know, we all have areas that we need to do the work in, and we all have areas where it's easier to just find comfort than it is to get better. And so the do the work for me, and I know it hurts, was like breaking old mindsets and breaking old patterns that don't lead us toward healthy mindsets and don't live us to a long and healthy life, but actually destroy us, and breaking those things and doing the work to get out of those mindsets.
Yeah, I mean, so some of the pagan creation ideas, the gods created us to do the work for them.
To do the work for him?
Yeah, so that they had work they wanted to do.
So like slaves.
Yeah, it basically the gods created us as a slave class, which is probably a reflection of the capitalistic or stratified society motivations or hierarchical society motivations that human beings have with one another. Where as I've said a million times, slavery is a norm, but
right.
The Bible has such a fascinating twist on work. So God creates Adam to work and keep the garden, not because God created Adam as a slave. God tells Adam to work and keep the garden because Adam is a king. Adam and Eve are given dominion over the entire earth. Mm-hmm. And so they are left to work and keep the garden, and by extension the earth.
Yep.
Not because they are a slave of the gods, but because they are the image of the gods, or a stand-in or a vice-regent. Mm-hmm. So God works in heaven, and he maintains his heavenly sphere. And then Adam works in his realm because he's essentially God in his realm. Mm-hmm. It completely flips why man does work. So man does work because it's his purpose.
Because he's a god, yeah.
It's his purpose to do the work. Mm-hmm. But then the fall comes in, and then work gets corrupted as well.
Right.
In the sense that by the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. Mm-hmm. Whereas prior to that, the land was completely and totally submissive to Adam. Now the land is going to fight back with thorns and thistles and things of that nature. So while there are similarities to all of the ancient Near Eastern creation myths or creation stories, the biblical creation myth flips or elevates man in his work.
Yep.
Initially, and then gives an explanation for why work has become a curse for us. So it's just very fascinating to think about.
Yep.
So I once heard a quote, "What do you think? God became man so that man could become God." That's Augustine. And obviously, when we say man could become God, or that Adam was God, what I'm saying is that we are the image of God, in the sense we represent God on the earth. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times with your firstborn, when you're going out on date night, you look at the kids and you say, okay, Dorian's me. Anything Dorian says goes. He carries my authority. But that doesn't. Nobody believes. Oh yeah, Dorian's dad.
Right.
He's my vice regent.
Right.
Right. He stands in like Biden sent Camel over there to those South Americans, tell them to stay home. Shout out to Kamala Harris. And so human beings are God's vice regent in the earthly realm, and in that sense, we're gods. Okay, in that sense, lowercase g. And don't be mad at me. There are human beings that are called gods, lowercase g, all throughout the.
Right.
That was Athanasius, not Augustine. Athanasius said that, not Augustine, which is really interesting because Athanasius.
I'm so glad you have friends like Perk.
It's crazy because Athanasius was so crazy about his theology. He basically went up against the entire world for the Trinity, and so for him to say that means obviously there's a nuanced understanding of what he means by that. He obviously doesn't mean that we're going to get graduated into the Trinity.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very, very fascinating thing. Work is a curse now because it's all about money. We all need to be flipping tables, not down to banks and billionaires. Well, yeah, work has been a curse since Genesis 3. And it's really, really fascinating because doing the work was one of the big phrases, man, in Lenin, Stalin, and all the rest of it. It was also a big phrase in Gulag. It was also what you saw when you were going into Auschwitz. Work makes for freedom. Work makes one free. Yeah. Macht frei. I forgot what the first word was. But yeah, and in these concentration camps, you're just working. Now, obviously, the Gulag in a concentration camp is the extreme version of the curse. But, that's why I was watching Ian and he is having a discussion because there's that meme going around saying, hey, you're complaining about gas prices. You should be, at least you're not in some, underground bunker, whatever. And Ian was responding by saying, because there's a lot of people now that are under we're already under financial duress. I mean, think about it. A bunch of people just had to recover from COVID.
Yeah.
And all the economic ramifications of what COVID did. And now, right on the heels of COVID, you don't even have the time to recover. Now you have this bullshit to deal with. I was just watching.
And nobody's getting those stimulus checks.
Right. We have electricity, but, a lot of people in Maine, you know how it is. They pay, heating oil and things like that. It's like $5 a barrel, $5.13 a barrel, which I don't know what that means, but apparently, or whatever the number, apparently that's a lot. And so it puts so much, now common, regular people have now so much stress and strain. And we work from home and we homeschool, so we're not really worried about gas.
Right.
Because it's not really a necessity for us to
we don't have to
do anything. We don't need to go anywhere and do anything.
We usually drive for leisure, not for necessity.
Yeah, we drive for fun. We don't drive for necessity at all.
Hi, Sadie.
Yeah, there it is right there. Arbeit macht frei. Yeah, there it is. Work makes for freedom or whatever.
Oh, God.
And so it's like, so now you've got all these people that are, that were and it's weird because during the whole COVID situation, the balance of power shifted to the worker because everybody had the unemployment and all this. And now with all this gas situation, I feel like the balance of power is going to shift back to, the owners, because now people are going to have less options because more and more people are going to say, I've got to work and put in 40 hours and all the rest of it. And
we just drove by some gas pumps. They had them all blocked off.
Yeah. People are going to be stealing gas, and then people are going to be, during the Iraq War, when the gas prices were insane, people were stealing gas, and they were getting chased down, and all the rest of it, and cops were making big shows, and so it's just there's a real deep ugliness in, and that's why you have all these theories of economics. And they always turn bad. If you look at the purest version, I wish Ben Webb was in here because he would give a counter. He would give a counter to this. But if you look at capitalism in its purest form, free market, best man wins, yada yada yada. If we didn't have all the evil fucking shit on top of capitalism, namely human nature, that looks like a beautiful system. It's a meritocracy, blah, blah, blah. But we know there are all these mitigating factors.
Yep.
There are all these mitigating factors that make capitalism not what it was sold to us in school. And then you have communism, and then, you've got Animal Farm. And, it's like, all of a sudden you got people working in the gulags and all this other shit. It's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That ain't it either. So,
right.
This is like the first song that I really like directly talked about the work. Do the work.
Oh, that's what it's talking about?
Well, that's what it says at the bottom.
Yeah, I know. I totally took that another way.
Do the work, do the work. I know it hurts, do the work. And he talks about, talks about, I see the gears turning.
Yeah, I was going to say the gears turning, the flaws in the machinery.
Yeah, and our current system has really turned people into that, man. Like, it's turned people into, I remember I was working at the Walmart distribution center. I just needed a break from, to get off the train of what I was doing. So I worked. Did I work there for like a year or two? Must have been a year, right? Anyway, but
I thought it was like 6 months.
And the guys were so depressed, man. But like, I don't. When I hear people talk about like working at these Amazon sites, I kind of, because you had to maintain a certain speed.
Yep.
And you had all these, and you were lifting like, I mean, I lost the weight like immediately. You know how small
like
I was? I was like wearing Dorian's.
Yeah.
Dorian's clothes would be too big for me now, like literally.
Oh
right?
my God, no, I don't think so. I mean, Dorian's pretty skinny.
He's skinny as a twig, but
you were really small.
I was very small,
and like because you're like kind of brolicky, like when you look small, it looked really like your neck was what it was your neck, because you have such a thick neck.
People who
your
had
neck
seen
was like
me,
just skinny, like
Shannon saw me at Walmart. She's like, "Are you okay?" She was
Are
terrified.
you okay?
She's terrified. But like I lost the weight immediately. It's funny too, because when
somebody told me he was anorexic.
When they were doing orientation, they were like, "Oh, you'll be in the best shape of your life, blah blah blah, yada yada yada." I don't think I was in the best shape of my life.
No.
But anyway, you're just like doing this for.
You look like you were in high school.
It wasn't 8 hours. It was pretty much until it was.
Until it was done. Like when you went in there, that's it. You were in there until it was done. And I would see like, because when I would go there, when it was their break time and they would all come out, you'd have like these grown men like tattoos and everything. Like they would come out and they would stop.
Yeah.
And they would just tilt their head up toward the sun. I'm like, these poor people having to stay in a factory like that, like in a warehouse all day long on these beautiful, gorgeous days. And then, when they would come out, you could tell they were just trying to like take in the nature, like take in the sun. I felt so really bad for them. But like, and it was weird because it wasn't like you could picture the girls doing it or like a certain type of guy, but like the most shocking guys would come out doing it. It was very surprising.
Yeah, so it's now we're in an economic system where there's this one guy, I try not to think about him because it like he would work damn near 15 hours a day anytime there was overtime. Such a hard job. He was the guy that trained me. Anytime there was, and to me, I think I felt bad about it because I know that I didn't take the job.
I was going to say, you had a way out. That wasn't your only option.
I had other options. And
a lot of those people, that's their only option.
I was just goofing off, and I knew that I could make 2, 3, 4 times that, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take a trip for a couple of weeks, so I'll make a lot more money. But I wanted to get off that train. But at the same time, like this dude, like you could tell it was all he had, and he had a wife and kids at home. And that was like an example in Animal Farm, the horse, and he was working so hard for the piggy, and then they just sent him off to, and it's like, wow, man, like.
And that job had like a certain amount of, it had a shelf life to it. There wasn't a lot of guys that could do it past a certain amount of years because it was so rough on your body. You're just working on the cement floor. There's no ergonomic mats, nothing. And
ergonomics, you get punished if you got hurt.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I was hurt that was my own fault though. I just didn't listen. I didn't care. I got hurt every single week there. But you were encouraged not to say anything because it was really good psychology. And they also like showed a video about not unionizing. Like literally in your orientation, they showed you about
Every
not
job I was
unionizing,
ever a part of did that.
and they would threaten.
Yeah.
You. It would like tacitly threaten you. Hey, if you try to unionize, it's over. Yeah, like it's unbelievable. It's really, really unbelievable. So like the work, especially as from a Christian worldview, it's like that's part of the curse, and the job of God's people is to reverse the effects of the curse. And the strenuous nature of work is one of the curses. It should be reversed because the ultimate expression of the curse is slavery. And so that's why the Messiah, one of the chief goals of the Messiah is to liberate the captives. And then you've got for freedom Christ has set you free. Don't allow yourself to be taken under again on the yoke of slavery, etc., etc., etc. So it's like crazy to me to see you've got leftist, godless leftists who 3 or 4 years ago was the big thing was a fight for 15, or 2016 it was a fight for 15. And then Hillary's like, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, ridiculous. Nobody can make a profit of $15, whatever. That was Hillary. You know, Bernie was like, come on, can we have a $15 minimum wage? I think we should have a $15 minimum wage. I think $7 is crazy.
Yeah.
Do $15. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hillary's like, I'll barely get $11. Then we had the pandemic. Then all of a sudden everybody was doing $15.
17, 21.
Yeah, correct. Oh, I thought your business was gonna, but it's crazy because the people who are the subculture, not with the most, but with a significant amount of political power, are evangelicals. And you remember talking to Dorian when he was in his big bitch of, a person working at McDonald's should get $15 an hour. I was like, what the fuck? Yes.
Yeah.
But it was just this dismissive resentment of the worker, and you've got this. It's like
he didn't have any experience to give him that knowledge. He was watching Ben Shapiro, and that's where he was getting it.
Yeah, but Ben Shapiro had the experience. He's a grown ass man.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, you know how they'll say, like, kids learn what they hear? Like, that attitude he got from listening to certain people. Because that's not our standpoint on that. We've never been like that about the workers. We've been there. We've done that. I got paid $5.15 an hour at my first couple of jobs I ever did. And I thought I was getting paid well because it was better than babysitting money.
Right. But you lived with your parents.
Yeah, but I can't imagine for the people who didn't, because there was adults that worked that job. Yeah. And I don't think they were getting paid much more than I was.
Right. No, I'm with you. I mean, obviously he's my son, so I don't hate him. But,
no, I'm blaming it on the people he was listening to.
But it's just, and Ben Shapiro's Jewish, and he's got the Judeo-Christian ethic. Like, we should be the ones pushing for 15. Whereas, in James...
Yeah, absolutely.
In James, you see in the New Testament, James, like, the worker that you've denied his wages, and you've gone after the poor person, God's going to come and fuck you up.
Yep.
Just wait. Like, there are these threats, all the hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only time you hear evangelicals get hellfire and brimstone is to gay people.
Oh God.
But to those exploiting the poor, they get congratulated. Right?
Yep.
And then in the New Testament, all the hellfire and brimstone stuff is for rich people exploiting poor people.
It's awful.
and so it's like, yo, we're supposed to be working to reverse the effects of the curse as much as possible. Like, at the end of the day, like, a good, strong Protestant work ethic, I still think is important. We work very, very hard. Like, we work 7 days a week almost. If we're doing one thing or another, and our kids and all the rest of it. So it's like, I believe in a strong work ethic, especially if you're an immigrant. I mean, immigrants generally have a really, really strong work ethic because we realize we're playing from a negative, behind zero. But it's mind-boggling to me that, like, our team is impeding any sort of relief to people, and not and I don't just mean relief in the form of a government check. I mean relief in the form of even a just and a righteous wage.
And it's even beyond that. Like, like they're forklifts. Like, we've all seen forklifts. The people sit on the fucking forklifts, but not Walmart distribution center, not them. They made you stand on those things. They wouldn't even buy the ones that had the seats there. So, like, here are these people, they're working all day long. Like, let them friggin' sit. But, like, nope, you gotta just stand. utilize your, make your joints and everything hurting and all that stuff. Like, give people a friggin' break. But it's just, everything is about how they can, it's all about product. It's all about how much you can put out in the least amount of time. And so if somebody sitting is going to make them work a little bit more slowly, then, I don't know, just unbelievable. There's not even like the longevity that there used to be back in the day. Like, you stayed with a job, you're like, oh, I've been here and I retired with this job. Like, jobs don't even want you to retire with them anymore. They want you to just get out when you don't have as much strength as you had it before. And they're in with the new, out with the old,
Yeah. Woe to him who builds his house by unrighteousness and his upper rooms by injustice, who makes his neighbor serve him for nothing and who does not give him his wages.
That's awful. Yeah, that's a good verse.
Yeah, that's Jeremiah, Jeremiah. But I just, to me, like,
yeah,
it's fascinating to me. And if you think about it, you look at his art. This guy's an artist, and the capitalists got their hands on that and even ruined that for the homies.
Jeez. Yeah.
To where he has to make art about how it's been corrupted to transform into work. I remember I used to listen to people and they're like, these rock stars, they're like, the minute it becomes work for me, I'm leaving. And I used to, my mom was like, I listened to, look out, lazy. Oh, because work is a big, big thing. And immigrant Jamaican families, forget it, bro. Immigrant Jamaican families, forget it. But yeah.
Vin would, because Vin is on the side of truth, Michelle.
What?
Who would win in a debate, you or Ben Shapiro?
I mean, it depends on what we're debating, man. I don't think that you can reconcile this. This is an unjust system. Period. I'm not gonna get quote unquote too political because I don't want to hijack his channel. But a lot of the shit that we do is just, and everybody knows I'm a lover of my people. But I mean, a lot of this shit crosses racial lines and is and again, like I said, I don't have a problem with hard work. I don't have a problem with hard work. But if we had a society that said, okay, we're at $21 and okay, I'd say, okay, do your 540.
Right.
Do your 540, you get your $21, stop fucking complaining. But when you have a society that says, yeah, I could pay you $7 or $8 and the cost of living makes it so that you have to work 2 or 2.5 jobs to survive. So your entire life, your entire waking life is subsumed with work. Like, even the concept of minimum wage, we've heard some Christian subcultures are even against minimum wage.
Crazy.
Holy shit. All right. I love this song. I love this song so much. What did you give it?
We've seen what happens when there's no minimum wage. That's why you have like Dr. Bronner's, who does, if you want, I buy Dr. Bronner's coconut oil because they do fair trade. They give the people that they're buying the coconut oil from outside of America a fair wage for what they're being given. They're not going to give them pennies just because these people they have nobody else to sell to. So they put people in that horrible situation. And, so we've seen what people do if there's not a minimum. They will literally bring it down to pennies and make people work for pennies. It's awful. This is a 9.8 for me.
Solid 10 for me. Solid 10 for me.
All right, you guys, Pink Floyd is next. The name of the song is Time.
We shall return, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.